We're a few months into load shedding and it's not getting any easier. Me, myself, our load shedding hours have gone up from 8 hours to 10 hours. That's why I'm excited to bring you this video about backup power systems. I'm talking to engineer Bonface Zulu and Charles Mungule, who are with Zulu Land Energy, and they provide alternative backup systems. So if you're building back home or you have a property back home and you've been wondering what's the best backup power system you can have in your property, then you will want to watch this video. It's so good. We also have a Facebook group, which is our little corner of the internet where we love to talk about all things property and real estate. So please join the group that is appearing on your screen because we have some fake groups that are coming up. And if you do join, then there will be a tip from engineer Bonface Zulu that's going to go in the Facebook group. So make sure that you join. Now, over into today's video. Bonface, Charles, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
All right, so first of all, I think let's just start with the basics. What is an alternative source of power?
So an alternative source of power is a source that you can utilize basically when you don't have your primary source of energy. Primary sources of energy are normally the energy grid itself. If the grid is going to offer you energy, that's your primary source, then an alternative will be a secondary source that you can utilize as a backup in times when you don't have energy coming in from the grid. Let's say in rural areas, then if we use solar, that will be the primary source of energy because it's not an alternative, it's the only thing that they're having. Whilst an alternative is when you do not have energy, like the current situation of load shedding that we are currently faced with. So we need to have an alternative source of energy, like a backup system, like the system that you can see behind here. We've got a battery, we've got the inverter there. Now this is an alternative source of energy because we are utilizing this once we are load shedded, then this kicks in and we are starting to utilize the energy.
Okay, fantastic. So you've actually almost partially answered my next question.
Yes.
Which is, what are the different types of alternative energy sources? And like you said, this is so topical for us.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So what are the different types?
So we have different types of alternative sources of energy. We've got hydro can be utilized as also an alternative source of energy. So all energies such as wind energy, solar, geothermal energies are all alternative sources of energy, just depending on when and how. While we can prioritize solar to be our primary source of energy, then secondary source of energy can be hydro energy, the grid. We can prioritize solar during the day. When you've got light, you can produce energy from that. Then during the evening, when you don't have light, you'll go back to the national grid, which will be also, again, an alternative source of energy. So all sources of energy are alternative sources of energy, just depends on which one is our primary and secondary source of energy.
Okay, so now in this situation that we're facing with these long hours of load shedding, which are the ones that are most relevant? Because of course we can't go into wind sources of energy, yes. But for those of us consumers, which of these alternative sources are the most relevant right now for us?
The most relevant source of energy right now that we are having as a country is solar energy because it's abundant and it's clean energy. And also it's fancy. There's a fanciness to yes. When you look at a home which has got solar panels, everybody admires it. Like, oh, there are the solar panels. They add beauty to the structure that you're already having, and that's also a very good thing. But it's the most abundant source that we are currently having. These are the many sources that we can utilize as a country, especially when it comes to alternative sources of energy when we don't have our energy grid.
Okay, so now I think everybody who will be watching will be wanting to know what this display behind us is all about.
Yes.
So maybe you guys can just show us the different types of equipment that you have here.
Yes. All right, so now we'll firstly start with the inverter. So we've got an inverter here. Can have the breakers there. The breakers there. So now most of these are protection. This is protection. Most of this is protection from anything like surges, especially surges. So we've got an inverter here. This is a hybrid inverter. So,
what do you mean by hybrid?
so this inverter, what it can do is it can have both solar panels as well as the grid to this inverter. Then it has got an MPP charge control system, meaning that you can actually draw energy from the solar panels directly from the solar panels, and you can use them in your home while it's saving the battery pack. And this also saves up on the usage of the battery pack, and also allows for the longevity in terms of duration on the battery. So it doesn't panic the battery, where you'll be drawing direct energy from the batteries to your home. So now this inverter also selects which it's going to prioritize between its secondary and primary source. So its secondary can be prioritized to, say, the panels can be the secondary source, whereas if you are being load shedded, it will prioritize using the panels rather than the battery. That is the best thing that has come out in the last 5 years in terms of the inverters and the technology that has been put in. Then you also pose the question to say, you've used some systems that were not operating so well for you. So the installers it's very important to get somebody that is well knowledgeable about the installation systems, because like this battery here, this is a smart battery. So what we are having here, you're having a lithium ion battery, 48 volts, and it's been installed on this inverter. So this battery communicates with the inverter. So it communicates on the charging rate, the temperature rate of the battery, and it also communicates with the discharge rate that it's supposed to discharge this battery at. So this is a smart battery.
Wow.
So it's supposed to communicate with the inverter. You can also communicate with this entire system on your phone.
On our phone?
Yes, on your phone.
So what will I be seeing on my phone?
On your phone, you can be able to tell this inverter to turn on and turn off.
Wow.
Instead of you'll be in your bedroom and this inverter is actually somewhere else. Well, maybe we put it in your kitchen. You'll be able to turn on the inverter. But normally we do have a changeover switch. This is a changeover switch, just to add that human touch to the inverter, so that you can be making checks and balances on the inverter. You don't give it full autonomy, because once you give it full autonomy, meaning that you might have a problem at a certain particular time that you won't notice. But whereas you bring in the human touch, you can change and shift the balance. You'll be able to notice that, no, that is not right. You can notice. This will also give you error codes and alarms that will tell you that there's a problem here. Either the battery is not communicating with the inverter, or the inverter is not communicating with the battery. And these are very good systems, because in the long run they actually reduce your utility bill. So it's also about the equipment. So when you go into town today, you'll find an inverter equally almost the same, but it's going for 7,000. And the price range, when you look at that inverter that is going at 7,000, it's not a good inverter.
Really?
Yes.
Well, let's talk about this, because you know how we are as Zambians.
Yes.
We always want a bargain, right?
Yes.
People always want, what's the cheapest I can get it? So tell us now what the pricing means.
So now the pricing, cheap is expensive.
Come on,
Especially cheap is expensive.
100%.
So when it comes to the inverters, like we do have the mast inverters here. So now these are more durable, very long lasting, and also the equipment itself. These equipments are like German vehicles. We're not talking of the Japanese.
It's a BMW.
Yes. So now imagine most Zambians want to purchase something that
A
a Toyota Corolla to do the performance of BMW or
That's
Benz,
right.
which is not a good thing. And then we've seen an influx of this system coming into the country. When I go into town center, sometimes I do cry for ordinary Zambians. They're selling them an inverter which is going at 7,000, 8,000, and this is a 5 kVA. I'm like, is somebody really going to buy this? And people are purchasing.
People are buying.
Now, what's the problem with that? When they purchase that is going at 7,000, 8,000, it has got a shorter lifespan. You'll find that within 2 years or 3 years, it starts giving you problems. And then when it comes to the batteries, we've got different types of batteries. We've got lithium-ion batteries. These are long-lasting batteries.
Yeah.
And then we're talking of in terms of lifespan. But then in terms of the capacity, it's still the same. So this is a 200 ampere hour battery. So you expect it to have 200 ampere hours. So this is going to last you somewhere 8 years to 10 years when you get this battery. So now this battery upfront cost is very expensive. It's going for somewhere 50,000 in a lot of places.
Wow.
That's the price somewhere in that range, 50,000, 60,000 for these batteries. Then the 100 ampere hours, which are the smaller size, they go somewhere 30,000, 25,000. But this is a high quality system. When you have this, it's an investment.
Yeah, so let me just get this straight, because I've heard of people buying batteries for maybe 2,000, 5,000.
It's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah.
You want the lighting system, you want the TV, you want the fridge to run on this. What wattage are you having just as a home in terms of load?
Yes.
Then you want to force something that is, most of those batteries that go for 2,000, 3,000 are designed to be used as disposables.
Oh, really?
Yes, when they are manufactured, they are used as disposables to say, no, this will get rid of it in the next 2 months, 3 months. It's just a standby. It's a take me home. Not really that it's a system that you're going to really concentrate on. So as you can see, even the AGM batteries. So the AGM batteries also have got a lifespan of 5 to 6 years, but with the proper usage, they can be prolonged. So now these batteries are much on the cheaper side because of the technology. They are not smart batteries. Because of the technology that is being used in them, there are gel batteries and AGM batteries. These are going somewhere at 15,000. If you want a good system here in Zambia, it's supposed to be that price. 15,000 one battery. 15, 14,000 one battery. So now you go and get this battery, which is meant to be a disposable, and you store it in your home and expect it to cover up for that long duration and with the long hours of load shedding, because again the battery's lifespan is controlled by the hours that you're going to be utilizing it. So the more you save on using the battery, especially with bringing in an inverter that is has got an MPP charge control system, it's actually an advantage for you, because it will actually be prolong the lifespan of the batteries, and you'll be utilizing the panels more, and also reducing on your utility bill in the long run.
Okay, so I just want to get a clarification from you.
Yes.
Because you said if you want a good long-lasting battery, we are looking at 15,000 per battery.
Yes.
What does the whole
These are the average.
Yes, average.
Yes.
Yeah, because we've talked about the low end,
yes,
which are disposable.
Yes.
Now we're talking about good quality, long-lasting.
Yes.
So what does the whole system cost then?
So now in Zambia, for example, this inverter is going somewhere around 30,000 kwacha. Then we've got the AGM batteries. So this is a 48 volt system. So meaning it will require 4 batteries to run it. So now 4 batteries, 15 times 4. So you can look at that amount. That's a good system.
Okay.
But then we can downgrade it to a simpler system, but it won't do the job that you want. You want your fridge to run, you want your TV to run for 8 hours constantly straight. So it will not be able to do that. So then now when we come to the lithium ion batteries, so if you say 4 of these, 50,000 times 4. Okay, that's an investment.
This is like buying a property.
But it saves you in the long run, and it also gives you that capability of saying that you do have this system in your home. It actually increases the value of your home. Let's say you're renting out a home. That means that if you are renting out a house at somewhere 10,000, you'll be renting it out for 15,000 because of the value added equipment that you've added to your home. And it just also makes your home look fancy. Then you'll be known as what is known as a prosumer. Somebody that can produce their own energy and consume their own energy.
Say that again.
A prosumer.
A prosumer. Guys, Bonface is talking my language. He talks about adding value to property and also increasing rentals. That's the language I like to hear.
Yes, it just makes it all better. And you see, the world is changing, and Zambia must change with it. People in the modern world countries have moved out on over dependence on the national grid. You understand that only 31% of people living in Zambia are connected to the national grid, and only 4% of people living in rural areas have got access to electricity. So bringing in such systems, and also government needs to come up with proper incentives to attract the buyers. Because at the end of the day, as much as these systems have zero tax, what is happening is the landing cost is actually very expensive to purchase good quality.
Yeah.
Then the kwacha to dollar exchange
Exactly.
rate also has also affected these systems. A good 4 years ago, a full system would come in, let's say with the AGM batteries, you would purchase this at approximately 30,000. But the price has doubled due to the depreciation of the kwacha to dollar exchange rate, as well as the landing cost is just heavy. Yes, it's very high. Then fuel, transportation cost is also very high. We have to look at all that.
Okay, so in what ways then, because not everybody's going to have that amount of money, but they still want to have a good system. So in what ways are you able to work within people's budgets? I'm thinking, for example, are you able to, let's say, remove some of those heavier appliances, like the fridge?
Yes.
Yeah, the stove.
For instance, we do have a smaller mast inverter here. This is a smaller mast inverter, so we're going to actually break down the system for you to say, now this inverter can light up your house and entertainment. In terms of your sockets, TV, radio, you can have that. But you want your fridge to run, we scale up.
That's why it's
with this system that we are having here, with this mass inverter, we'll break it down. That is a 24 volts, so you just require 2 batteries of your choice. Then you will now be running that inverter and your batteries and controlling. Now you'll be doing your own load shedding on the inverter. So now it will be a thing where you will say, no, I think this appliance is not being utilized here. Let's turn off the light bulbs. Let's turn off the stereo so that we can save up the battery bank. Now you'll be doing your own load management in the long run, which is also going to be good for you in terms of even teaching your kids to say, you have to learn to save up. They'll say, no, we need to save up power. Now you feel the pain. When Zesco is saying, use energy efficient bulbs, now you'll be feeling it to say, no, I can't use that bulb, I'll use the energy efficient bulb.
Okay, now let's talk about quickly generators, right? Because when you drive around Lusaka, you still see a lot of people using generators. What is your view on that? Should we be moving away from those? Are they still fine? Should we be buying generators and the diesel? Or do you think that this type of hybrid system is better?
So I'll go for this type of hybrid system because I'm a new energy science and technology engineer. So my job is to offset the carbon footprint that we are emitting, especially as human beings. And then now when you look at the entire system right now, when you put in a genset, the genset is much on the high cost. And then it is also very...
but high cost in terms of what?
In terms of...
just said that batteries.
Running
40,000.
The running cost. So you actually look at right now the price of diesel. You want to purchase diesel or petroleum products, the running cost is quite huge. So for you to run, let's say a 5 kVA genset, you require money. Whereas with this, just to run it, you require simply nothing, lights.
All right, so what you're saying then is that for a genset, you've got the procurement cost and the ongoing expenses.
And maintenance. Yes.
And then as compared to this, which is a one-off cost, all your costs are upfront.
Yes, and then it has less moving parts. That means that even the maintenance cost is low. Whereas the genset, there's wear and tear, which is ever accumulating on those systems. You need to change the plugs, the spark plugs. There's a lot of things that you need to do with the genset, and then it also requires a lot of heavy duty workout. You have to get the gas can and pour into that genset, which also consumes your time and is also unnecessary. Whereas this, you just turn it on with just simply pressing the switch, and everything is done. And like I said, with these smart systems, you can just simply use your phone, turn it on, and it's there.
So I think that you have shared so much information. I have learned a lot. Now I'm even doing a budget in my mind to say, can I afford this new system? because my batteries are getting tired.
Yeah.
So now you've talked about the different types of systems, and we know that if we want to get something good quality, we are going to have to spend. So do you offer any kind of installment plans? I know people want to know about that.
We did have some sort of installment plans, but due to the strenuous economic conditions right now in Zambia, we're unable to do that because we had now where people were defaulting, and this became a trend. So we are avoiding that in order for us to have a smooth selling pathway, and especially that we're just upcoming. But of course, if government can come in, or even different stakeholders can come in and offer the financial muscle that we require in order to boost up our systems, as well as have such schemes put into place, especially for those people that are not well to do, and especially even looking at government workers, civil servants can be put in that line.
Okay, so I guess we have to visit our friendly bank managers
Yes.
in order to access these solutions. And then these are quite big investments, which if done properly will last for years. So my other question is it something you can take with you? Because if I build another house or I move to another neighborhood,
Yes.
are you able to dismantle that system and take it to my new residence?
Yes, these are just simply parts. So when you look at this system, it only has two ports. So we can remove that, and then we can also remove the conduit pipe, and then this can also be dismantled and you carry it and you put it in your vehicle. The portability is something that is very convenient, because everybody wants the portability. It's their security. At the end of the day, to say, am I going to carry this? So these things are mountable, and you can unmount them. So the portability is of course there, including the solar panels, because you can easily dismantle them, carry them wherever you want to go, and also go and mount them anywhere. So that gives you the capability of doing anything, even in remote places. We can take this from the urban setup and take it in a very rural area, and it will still operate because of the solar panels.
So it gives you basically the comfort of you knowing that you can take this system wherever you want to go.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, that's great. So tell us about yourself and how you got into this field.
Okay. So myself, I'm a new energy science and technology engineer, and I studied in China 4 years. I've got a bachelor degree in new energy science and technology engineering itself. And of course, when I came back to Zambia, we looked at we noticed that there was a problem with our energy security as a country, and myself and Charles Mungule here decided to sit down. How can we be able to help ordinary Zambians and alleviate the pain that they are currently faced with of load shedding and also the power deficit in the country? Because load shedding is one aspect, because there are other people, over 69% of our general population lives in total darkness, and nobody minds that only 31% of our general population is connected to the national grid, but the ones that are loud and complaining about load shedding are only 31%. How about those?
We need it. That's 31%.
So we actually sort of, instead of somebody purchasing a product from us, they'll be actually purchasing a solution. So now we are offering a solution. So myself and Charles Mungule run a company called Zulu Land Energy. So since we didn't have the upfront capital to run, we decided to partner up with Weaverbed. So Weaverbed is what provides the actual technology itself, the main products, the material. They're Chinese people, but because of the Chinese understanding between myself and them, we said no, we can form up something that we can work hand in hand with. There are companies that actually sell you a product which becomes also part of the problem. In the long run, you'll find that you buy equipment that is also going to become problematic and also increase on the costs for you, of which we do not want that. That's why even the type of systems that we are producing, we say these are German machines, not the Japanese machine. Yeah. So yeah, I think he also has something to add. Why did he?
Yeah, all right. So Charles, what about you? How did you get into this business?
So let me start by introducing myself. I'm Charles Mungule. I'm basically an IT expert, stroke director for Zulu Land Energy. So how I came into this, actually it's interesting actually, because he studied together with my cousin. Yeah. So they did the same course. And one time I remember when I was in the UK, because I'm based in the UK. So we were talking on the phone, I was talking to my cousin and he was in the background talking, making noise and whatnot, joking. I said, who is that guy talking in the background? So my cousin put him on the phone and we started talking. Since then, me and him basically become like brothers. You know, we do everything together. Now we're doing business together. We're now partners to standing here together, doing interviews together. So that's how the dream came about. I remember I left London, I came here. We sat down, I sat down with him. We talked about so many things, you know, because he's lived outside as well. Me also living outside. We came together and we said, you know what, we've lived outside. Why can't we bring that technology, everything that's out there to our home? This is home. Zambia is home anyways. So that's how we sat down, we started talking, and we came up with all these ideas, and here we are today.
And I think what's so great about both of your stories is that you are from the diaspora.
Yes.
Like our audience,
Yes.
and you decided to come home
Yes.
and use your expertise and your know-how
Yes.
to improve the standards of service that is being
Yes.
Provided in this sector.
Yes.
Yes.
Brilliant.
100%.
So I hope you enjoyed that interview, and I really hope that you found it useful. For me, I learned so much, and I know I say this for so many of the interviews that we have, but I learned so much from our guests, and I hope you do too. So my question for you is, what power backup system are you using in your home or your property? So I'm using a battery operated inverter, but after listening to what Charles and Bonface had to say, I'm seriously considering a hybrid of the solar and battery operated inverter. It's making a lot of sense. So if you did like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and share it with one other Zambian in your community who you know will also be interested in this topic. Don't forget, we are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. We're almost there, so if you haven't done so already, then please subscribe to our channel. We also have a Facebook group, and we would love for you to join so that we can take this conversation further. Engineer Bornface will be in there to give us his tip as well. So if you want to hear more from him, then join the Facebook group that's appearing on your screen. We currently have some fake groups out there, and I don't want you to put yourself in the wrong group. If you would love to chat with us on social media, we love to connect with you there. Get in touch with us there as well, or directly with us. The details are in the description below this video. Otherwise, it's bye for now. Where we're going to be talking about alternative backup systems. We're talking to Bonface Zulu. Yes, that's why I stopped. I thought, I need to say the whole title. So I hope you enjoyed that interview as much as I do. Sorry. I was thinking about what I was going to say as well.